What's going on, you guys? As you could tell by the title of this video, we will be comparing two of the best driver cars that have come out in the past couple of years in this video, the BMW M2 and the Honda Civic Type R. We will show some clips of us driving them. This footage you're about to see was taken a couple months ago, so I've had some time to reflect on the cars and really think about which car I've actually been thinking about since it happened. So at the end of the video, I'll wrap it up and give you my final thoughts on these two cars. Let's get into it.
So this is how our day started. With those two nice nails in our tire. But the view is nice. That helps. So let's see if this holds. Pushed on the on-ramp. Cheap tires. No grip. Yeah.
Not something you would want to cheap out on. No, front-wheel drive car, but that's something that someone would cheap out on for their rental car.
Right. Boost is so immediate that it doesn't really feel like, it almost doesn't feel like a turbo. Like the WRX, there's noticeable lag. In this, it's very slight. Like if I kick it down, it's like immediate. But if the tires were balanced correctly, drive in this no problem. This would have been better to drive to Arizona than my Integra.
100%. I've never been in, I've never driven or ridden in your Integra.
Well, it has no cruise control, for one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I use the golf club.
Oh, yeah.
I think my wife would like this car.
Do you think she would think it's comfortable enough?
Yeah. Speaking of STI, were we talking about the STI? I think we were talking about WRX. Brakes are excellent.
Look at this fucking shitbox next.
Is that a Metro?
I don't know what that is. Yep, that's a Geo Metro. Oh my god. I think
That's awesome.
that's a death trap.
It's an awesome death trap.
No. Take that up to the canyons. How do you think the body roll is on that thing?
It's probably really good. As in a lot. Oh! So we filled up our tires. Let's see if the pressure light goes out. Oh shit. We're gonna head back down. Yeah, it still says low. It says pressures. Like plural. Yeah, we're gonna take it easy. So my initial thoughts on the car while we were driving it in the city was it's pretty easy to drive in comfort. It has an adaptive suspension, so it's actually kind of comfortable. Some of the panels do rattle a little bit, so that kind of is concerning because it only has 16,000 miles on it. But the turbo, it really does pull when you're in R mode. It's nice to drive daily, I think. Just, oh fuck!
Jesus Christ!
It is the car just passed on oncoming, but it, aside from this stupid tire pressure light, it feels like it would handle aggressively. We were behind a truck, so we weren't able to really test that out. It does not have a spare, which kind of sucks because right now we don't have any cell service either, so hopefully we can get down without any issues here. But yeah, otherwise I think the access for the rear seats is key if you have a kid, but this lack of a spare tire really has me thinking now. The shifter is a little notchier than I thought it would be. It's probably not mechanical. I don't think anything's really mechanical anymore, but it just takes a little getting used to. The auto blip is very nice. The bolsters kind of, you are going to hit them every time you get in and out, so I can see those wearing out pretty quickly.
I like the way they hold me though.
Yeah, they do. They hold you very well. It is nice. So we're gonna let this Jeep go by here while we limp this thing down.
And I'm assuming this does not have run flats.
No.
They're 20s.
No. Actually, let's pull over in that spot over there and just double check our tires. The criticisms of the sound are true. It doesn't make a lot of noise, but kind of makes it a nice daily driver, I guess.
Doesn't sound all that different from your BRC.
Yeah. But so we're going back down now. I got Ian driving so I can get a perspective as a passenger. It's pretty comfortable. We actually have it in R mode right now, and well, we're not really pushing it because the tire pressure light is still on. Even at low speed, you can tell that it really wants to hug the roads, and it feels pretty nice. It's comfortable. I imagine the back seat is just a typical standard Civic fare, but who cares about the people in the back? But these front seats are very nice.
That's why I got a coupe.
There are a lot of pieces that are buzzing on the interior though.
Yeah, when I put the clutch in, you hear something rattle in the dash or something like that.
This is a 17 though, so maybe on the 18 they worked out some more better interior pieces. But, well, I guess we won't really be able to test it out because I don't want to die up there. But it's got the rev matching is very cool on it. It doesn't take much to really drive this. And you know what? We see all these. We saw a couple of S2000s, some old RX-7s. What else did we see? There's a nice BRZ Hyper Blue Edition.
A couple Caymans.
Yeah, we're missing all that. It makes me sad. But otherwise, we'll see how the M2 drives and then kind of go from there. But for now, we're gonna go get some air in the tire and maybe we have reception. So right now we are heading back in R mode, and we're doing about 75 on the highway.
Oh, we just saw an M2.
Yes. There's a little bit of road noise to those tires, but it's not too bad. One thing though is at about 80, the hood does flutter a little bit. That hood scoop probably brings in some air and makes it shake. But otherwise, one thing that's nice about this car is when you get on the throttle, it's doing 70 in 6th gear. It still builds up enough boost to where you can build up some speed to pass people and you don't have to downshift. rev matching off too, which is something that I would expect. Both driver and passenger are auto up and down. And these seats, one thing that I did notice is if we were able to hit the canyons, the seats hug you. The side bolsters are so high on the seat that, like in the Miata, I had to brace my knee against the door. In this car, the seat's doing all the bracing.
Still adjustable.
Still adjustable. Very nice. And you can easily find yourself doing 90 very quickly in 6th gear, just hitting it just to pass people.
Which is not what you're doing right now.
No. No, I'm not doing 90. One thing though, I think these 20s are a little too aggressive. I think I would swap them out for 18s. But that just builds up boost so quickly. It goes so well. So one thing I did notice was getting on the on-ramp, I did hit it pretty hard. It will still push a little bit because it is front-wheel drive, but in terms of torque steer, there's none. The wheel doesn't yank at all. And as soon as you let off the throttle, it will reposition. Now, I haven't been in a corner too hard to tell if how well the car will rotate, but I have a feeling that it probably rotates pretty well. Actually, even when we pulled into the gas station, it tripoded a little bit, so this is a very stiff car.
Of the limited canyon driving we did, the turn-in felt really good.
I do like how it brakes too. It's nice even pressure. If it's drive-by-wire, it probably is. It's still very easy to drive. You get a slew of gauges with it too. You get a G meter, a timer. You can get your navigation on the dash. Throttle percentage, boost. Is that a rev? Oh yeah, you get a shift meter too. That's cool.
Honda World.
Honda World. I don't think the rev match turned off.
No, it didn't. It said incompleted.
Yeah, I thought
not able to complete.
I thought that was a TPMS that was incomplete.
No, that's because you came off the parking brake because the light turned green, like when it was in the middle of turning it off. So I think it stopped.
Got mad at me. The wheel's nice and meaty. It's got a flat bottom.
I wish it was a little bit thicker.
Really? I've gotten used to the shifter. It does feel nice. It's very direct. Wait, was it 105 we did?
Yeah, 0.4 miles.
Oh, 0.4. The nice thing too is that wing in the back, it doesn't really obscure vision too much. Like in the Integra, the wing is right at headlight level, which is actually kind of nice at night because it blocks out the glare. Okay, so we have the M2 now, and it's just the standard M2 in manual. And while we're stuck behind this Toyota Corolla, I'll take this time to put my thoughts on tape. This is much quieter than the Civic Type R when you put it in comfort mode. It's got butterfly valves on the exhaust, so it can alter the sound of the exhaust. The seats are less, they got less bolstering on the bottom, but that just means that they'll last longer and look nicer longer. Interior wise, it's night and day difference. This is much more upscale. like the Civic Type R though, because it had more info at the touch of your fingertips on the wheel for the dash display. But the M2 is still very nice. Let's see, letting us go here, and you can hear. It was fun. I think I thought that was a cop. I feel like initial turn-in, the car does turn very well. I think there's a little bit more body lean than the Civic Type R. The Civic Type R is definitely more hardcore. This one can absorb the bumps much better. It felt much nicer driving to get here, to be honest. And this one, it is more comfortable, but it does seem like there's much more noticeable lag. In the Civic Type R, I could, on the highway, I could keep it at 6 and get on it and it would go right away. This one, there is a little bit of a lag. Even if you're in the right gear, when you downshift and hit it, it takes a couple seconds. If you don't have the traction control on, it could throw you off. Oh, they closed Glendora Mountain Road today. Well, that sucks. Yeah. Look, rock slides. They probably closed it because of the rain. Well, as we turn around here,
that's depressing.
so like I said, it turns very well. You get on the throttle and you can help it turn. I think it's not, like I said, it's not as hardcore as a Civic Type R, but you also get panels that don't rattle like the Civic Type R. So it's a hard choice. I never went this way before. The M2 competition has bigger brakes, 40 more horsepower. I can hear you. Are you bolstering your knee against the dash? Oh,
Is that what you're hearing?
I thought I was hearing that. Yeah. See, that's the thing with this car. You will. It doesn't have as much support for your knees, which is okay. It's not what it's for. It's not like we're gonna be carving canyons in Chicago.
Would be nice though.
That would be nice. Well, the Civic was all in ads right behind it.
Dude.
Oh, I kind of want to chase those guys up. That's that thing was fucking hauling.
Does the trick. That's for sure.
I wish I had the Civic Type R to try like that. That's why we don't want to do it on slime tires. Just who knows what would have, you know?
Who knows? Yeah.
Thank you. Did you see that curb?
Yep.
You're trying to clip that. Rock's bad.
Rock's very bad.
We caught that guy.
We caught both the guys that fucking left.
view, isn't it?
It's pretty amazing.
Wow, this is I don't like braking. You're not supposed to brake in turns. Brake through the turn. Accelerate through the turn. Come on. Fuck. See, I would like to know how the Civic would have handled all this. I think it would have been more jarring,
Yeah.
but I think it would have handled it very nice. That is what it is meant to do. I like the way this handled it though too.
What's this guy doing? Is he recording this?
I don't know. Is he?
I don't know. Oh, it looks like he's recording forward.
Oh, that's sad. There's a helmet on the.
Yes, that is.
Oh. Huh. Let this guy pull over so I can go.
You guys got some heavy ass 22s on there. You can't fucking rip it.
So, like I said, it's just driving with a lot of turns. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't that special, was it?
It's pretty awesome.
Actually, you know what? I want to take a picture over there. That's where I took a picture of the Miata. When I had the regular Miata. Ugh. Yeah, I had to take a leak right there. And I took a picture of the car after I took a leak. Because I really like it. Because you can see the curve and he must have got new tires. Alright, I guess I should ask him if he wants us to wash the car. I mean, I would say no because although this car's got, I mean, it's got swirls on it. Did you notice that?
Oh yeah.
No, it's okay. Bye, Ian.
Yeah.
Dude, it's still got that rumble with it, comfort.
Yeah, we got the windows up though, or down.
Uh-oh, this password's gonna be like, I just let you go.
That's not the guy who let you go.
That is Ridgeline, I mean. That's the guy. Wow, did we go down that fast?
What do you mean, Dennis? You're driving like an absolute lunatic.
Holy fuck! That bike was hauling ass.
I know, when he fucking little misstep.
Oh, Ian, this is so tempting to lose my license right here.
Not worth it, Dennis. Not worth it.
Not worth it, I agree. That auto flip
It's so useful.
Yeah, it is. Like, I don't have to worry. I just throw it in gear and let off the clutch and I'm ready.
What?
I'm serious.
You're driving crazy, Dennis.
I could have drove crazier.
Yeah, I understand that, and I appreciate that you don't. So I want to make it to class on Monday.
You'll make it to class. You'll make it to class faster.
No, like lights at the same time.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe if these two other ladies would pull over. I'm gonna clean the windows real quick. Yeah, pull your camera in so you don't get it all nasty. Jesus, it's like a fucking garden house. Oh my god, that was a lot. That spray was crazy. I wish we had a lunch to have picnic.
That would be nice.
Alright, so moving on to my final thoughts on both the cars. We'll start with the Civic Type R. And the sound of it was pretty disappointing. I was hoping for more. It kind of just sounded like your standard Civic, in all honesty. You do have a blow-off valve on there, but it was kind of quiet, and if you weren't listening for it, you wouldn't have heard it. But that being said, I was actually amazed at how well the Civic Type R drove for a front-wheel drive car. Going into it, I had my doubts, but it certainly lived up to that expectation. If you're really pushing it, you could feel it push, because at the end of the day, it is front-wheel drive. There was little to no torque steer on it, and on top of that, the seats in it were absolutely amazing. I believe there are some sort of Recaro seats in there, and they are great. They might wear over time because they are bucket seats, but they were still adjustable. You could lean them back, and they just really hugged you. And for that kind of car, when you get a Type R, that's what you should expect, is a full-out race-inspired interior, which it did have, and it was a little cheap. One of my complaints that I did have with the car is that when I would put the clutch pedal in, you could hear something in the dash rattle, like an adhesive wasn't really doing its job. So those little things are going to happen, especially on a purpose-built car like that, but it's worth mentioning. And obviously we have to address the elephant in the room, which is the Type R styling. It's very over the top, and a lot of people don't like it. I don't mind it. I like the front. I think the wing on the back is a little bit excessive. You know, it looks aggressive. It's got a nice hood scoop on it, or I guess a hood bump, but you get what I mean. And you get attention when you're driving around in it. I think we probably got more attention in the Type R than we did when we were driving the M2 around. So if that's what you're looking for, that's what you're going to get with it. And overall, I think at the price point that the Type R is at, it offers really good performance for what it is. Alright, moving on to the M2. Right off the bat, where the Civic kind of fell flat on its face with sound, the M2 sounded amazing. It's a straight 6 with a turbo, the N55 engine. It sounds great. On the other cars that it's in, like the 335s and things like that, where it's not tuned to be an M car, it sounds good, but they really opened it up somehow on the M2, and every time you let off the gas, you get a little bit of burble on it. It's not excessive backfires or anything like that. But I found myself really thinking about that and hearing it back in the videos and thinking to myself, wow, that is a good sounding car. M2 had a nicer interior than the Civic Type R. The seats were not as bolstery, but they were comfy. I found myself kind of sliding around a little bit more in the M2, but M cars, they walk the line between motorsport and being a daily driver, so you can drive it every day. The Type R might be a little tough on some people, but the young people will be just fine with it. The styling of it, I think the M2 is a gorgeous car, and I would pick that styling over the Civic Type R. Especially the rear end, I think they did a really good job with that. On performance, the M2 felt a lot faster on the top end. The Civic Type R felt a little torquier down low. I'm not sure if that was because it was front wheel, and I'm not used to that, but it did feel like it hooked up and went a little quicker than the M2. The Type R felt more planted in the corners. The M2 felt a little floatier, but by no means was it actually floaty throughout the corners. Overall, I think they both are great drivers' cars, and they were a good step backwards in an era where lots of brands are going away from a driver's car. There's less feel, no manuals, things like that. These cars kind of take it a step back, which is what a lot of enthusiasts look for. The M2, it's very reminiscent of, I had an E46, it's a similar size to that. At the end of the day, if I had to decide on one of the cars, I would pick the M2. And I think a lot of that is because I'm biased towards BMWs in general, because I do have an E92 335, and it just sounds so good, and it's faster on the top end. Now, the Type R, I think, if you're on a budget, that might be the car to go to, but that being said, M2s are starting to come down in value if they're 1 or 2 years old, and Type Rs are a bit of a limited release, so those are holding their value and sometimes selling over sticker, so they're starting to kind of converge on each other.